Welcome back, and you are tuned into the Nafeesa Dangor Show, of course, where we're inspiring you this afternoon, and of course, finding your purpose in order to be able to uplift your spirits and get you through this very difficult time. And of course, we're showcasing role models that are definitely making differences. And one of them is Christian Kayembe. Now, let me tell you about him. His mission is to make a difference to the kids living in the inner city of Johannesburg, South Africa. The founder of Classroom Buddies, it's a registered NPO that assists students from disadvantaged areas with life mentorship, free academic tutoring, and much more. Christian's goal is to break the cycle of poverty, and I think that's very important, especially during this period of time. He does focus on mentoring grade 9s, 10s, 11s, and 12s, and we're going to be speaking to him this afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. A very good afternoon to you, Christian. Thank you so much
Good,
for joining me on the Dango Show.
good afternoon to you too, and thank you so much for having me as well. And good afternoon to all your viewers and the listeners.
I think the pleasure is ours. It's always nice having to be able to showcase people that are definitely going out into those communities and, of course, making differences and uplifting people. And I think that's what it's all about. In our
Mhm.
mindset segment earlier, we were speaking about finding your purpose. And
Mhm.
I think this is one of your purposes that you have found is, of course, mentoring people and uplifting them, people from disadvantaged backgrounds. So tell us a little bit about yourself and Classroom Buddies.
Okay. Well, so I'm originally from the Democratic Republic of Congo, but I grew up in South Africa. Currently, I'm studying towards masters in University of Johannesburg. That's where I work as well. That's where I work as well as sorry about that. That's where I work as well. Um, so Classroom Buddies was started in 2015, and the reason why we started it started as a more of an informal group of classmates, former friends who came together and decided to go back to their former school in order to give a motivational talk to the grade 12s and grade 11s. And then the reception that we received from those students was very positive, and we decided, you know what, let's take it forward and assist other learners from other schools as well, and try to make a difference. So the idea was just to do motivational talk, but as time went on, we started doing a bit of research, and we found out that there's actually more that we can do that learners in high school um, require. Yes, so that's how it started.
Wow, that's very interesting. But you know what? It's nice to see that actually, because a lot of the students from the disadvantaged areas, they don't have the opportunities to get that extra mentoring or tutoring
True.
after school. So I think what happens is at least you are there to fill the gap to be able to help them find their direction. Because a lot of the times you find they just have that piece at school and then they're lost. They're trying to find their way.
That is true. That is true. Um, you have to understand something. The schools that we work with are from the Joburg CBD, and it's the honest truth that some schools don't have in-house career guidance, or where they have educational psychology that can actually guide the learner on what future career they can actually they can choose from. And some schools you find that don't even have computer labs. Some schools don't even have library. So those kind of infrastructures, the lack of those infrastructure makes it difficult for those learners to actually, fulfill their full potential and study in a very good way. So we come in and we say, you know what, we want to help you. Okay, where the school is lacking or where the learner is lacking to actually fulfill their full potential, we come in, especially with the mentoring. Our young people need a lot of mentoring. They need a lot of mentoring in order, for them to know what is it that they want in life. A lot of young people, especially in high school, from schools that we work with, are kind of lost. So they need somebody to hold their hand and walk with them and be able to make a good decision that will actually yield fruit in the future. Yes.
No, that is so true. But I see you're also doing the life skills, which I think is very important because a lot of the students, once they finish school, there is
Mhm.
that gap, which needs to be bridged and as such. Because a lot of
True.
the times you find that the student is there, they've learned what they needed to at school or at an institution after that, but they
Mhm.
don't know how to bridge their gap when they go into, the work field as such. So it's nice to see
Exactly.
you giving them that life skills that they actually need to acquire, and of course, equipping them with that. So when they go out there, they know
Mhm.
exactly which way to start and what sort of direction to find.
Yes, that's true. That's true. And the most interesting part about this is that we not only it's a two-way system. We're not only focusing on high school learners, but we're also focusing on university students, the people that we work with as well. Our volunteers or our staff members are also university students. So we're bringing them on board as much as they're helping the young kids develop themselves. They're also developing their own skills. You see, so it's a two-way system.
Yeah, I think it's really nice because what happens is actually both parties are benefiting from it. So you're actually
Yes,
really creating a support structure where you're kind
yes,
of helping each other move forward
yes.
and uplifting each other and empowering each
Yes,
other as such.
yes, yes, yes. Definitely, definitely. All our volunteers or our staff members are university students. So we're saying to them, instead of if you have a certain skill, or you're studying towards something at university, don't wait up until you are employed in a certain company for you to now begin to develop your skill. Come do it now when you're still in your first year, second year. At the same time, when you working with a high school learner, they can actually be motivated to see, oh, okay, there is somebody who's almost the same age with me. They are doing something. So let me also aspire to do something similar to what they are doing. So we're creating a positive, something that benefit everybody. Yes.
Yeah. But I think what's phenomenal about it is the fact that when they go into the work field, they're actually ready
Mhm.
for it. I think they have
Yes.
some form of experience already, which I think is great
Mhm.
because a lot of people, once they've come out of this educational institution as such, they're
Mhm.
not work ready. Whereas the people that you skilling up now, they go into
Uh-huh.
the environment and they already know how to find their way.
Yes, yes, that is very true. That is very true. That is very true. And that's why you see. Usually, I encourage young people in at university level. I told them, if you want to volunteer in a certain organization, volunteer in a certain field that is going to develop your skill that you have at the moment, the skill that you're going to use in the future. So, for example, excuse me, for example, I recruit a lot of let's say education students, those that are doing educational study at university, to become teachers. And I told them, when you come and join classroom buddies to become tutors, for example, math, physics, life science, it is giving you an opportunity to teach 3 to 5 learners. Already it giving you skills on how to manage a classroom, how you can improve your ability to talk, and your ability to manage classroom diversity, and also your ability to understand the content itself.
Most definitely, and
So
it's giving them first-hand experience, Christian. Because the thing is,
definitely, definitely,
they're experiencing the actual thing, and a lot of the times, what
definitely,
happens is, what you learn in a book, and to be able to apply it is very different.
exactly,
So what's happening
true.
now is you actually allowing them to apply what they've learned in a
Mhm.
physical form, so that when they go out there, they know exactly what they need to do.
Definitely, definitely. And that's just for the people who are actually providing the service. But for the learners who are receiving the service, we also encourage them to say, for example, if they're doing geography and they're learning about let's say the air, we tell them, look, you don't have to be in the classrooms. Go outside on top of a building or go on the street. Do something that is practical. Most of the time, you find that our learners are already in class every single day, Monday to Friday. They're already in front of a teacher. It's a bit intimidating for them already. So we try to bring something different. If we're going to teach them about the soil, or if a tutor is going to help them to understand the concept of the soil, then they have to see something practical. They see with their own eyes, they understand it, and they,
And they're
something
experiencing it, of course.
exactly, something that is practical tends to stay in somebody's mind for a very long time because they've seen it and now they understand how it works. Yes.
Most definitely. What does it mean for you? I mean, because I think you've really found your purpose by through classroom buddies, being able to
Yes.
uplift and empower people. And I think that's great because what happens is, at the end of the day, by giving them the necessary skills, you're also allowing them to become self-sustainable in many directions.
Yes, 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 yes. Definitely, definitely. We are allowing them. No, we are allowing them to be critical thinkers, to be critical
Mm,
thinkers, to think for themselves, not somebody that have to be spoon fed all the time. Somebody that people that we're trying to create what we say here at Classroom, but we say that we're trying to create critical thinkers, critical leaders. People are able to make decisions on their own. People are able to stand on their own 2 feet. Because remember, once they go to university, higher education level, um, it's another step in their life. And most of the time,
that is
then
so true.
nobody's going to be running after them to say, "Hey, do this, do that," as compared to when they were in high school. So we're already preparing them for that. So when they go to
Mm.
tertiary education, they're able to stand on their own.
Yes, and it also teaches them responsibility, I suppose, time management, and all the other skills that need to, be taken into that field, used there, and then, of course, used for the rest of your life, should we say?
Yes, yes, yes. It teaches them a lot. And you mentioned something about a purpose. Some people find their purpose later in life, while others find it earlier on in their life. So we're trying to help them also find their purpose earlier on in life when they're still 17, 18, 19, not later on in life after. Because if they find their purpose earlier on in life, it's going to help them to make good decisions that will stick with them for the rest of their lives. But if they find their purpose later on, it might jeopardize their life in one way or another. So we try to help them find your purpose in life now. As you're
That
still
is so
young,
true.
17, 18, you still have full of energy, you still have full of strength, and your brain can still think in different way. Find your purpose now, run with it.
Yes, and I see you're an NPO. So how do you self-sustain yourself, Christian?
Okay, so we depend on donation. We depend on donation from people, from companies, from individuals, and from myself as well. And other people that we work with. So that's how we find ourselves. So whenever we have a project, we send out invitation to individuals, to companies, to tell them, look, this is the project that we're running at the moment. Do you want to be part of it? For example, one of the projects that we are going to launch this week is where we're asking people to, it's a donation drive where we're asking people to donate, items like face mask, hand sanitizer that we can distribute to school learners. So that's how we run our project. That's how we run our project. Yes.
What does this mean for you?
For me, it means a lot. It means a lot for me. When I went to university, I never imagined one day that I'll go into the education field. I just went there. I was like, okay, I'm going to finish my degree after 3 years, go get a job, work in a certain company. That's it. No, but as I started interacting with a lot of lecturers, educators at university, my passion for education started coming out. So for me, like if you look at what you read earlier on that says that my mission is to break the cycle of poverty, and I believe in order to break the cycle of poverty, we have to do that through education and quality education. Quality
Almost
education.
definitely.
Yes, yes,
You
quality.
couldn't have said that better, and that's what Nelson Mandela said as well. Is if you want to create a better, South Africa, of course, the first thing that's the most important thing would be seeking knowledge.
Knowledge, exactly, exactly. And not only seeking knowledge but applying it as well. Applying the knowledge,
Most
because you can
definitely.
acquire the knowledge and you just sit. You need to acquire so quality education that is actually going to help people apply what they've learned, apply what they've acquired. That's the only way that we are going to break the cycle of poverty.
That is very true, especially during this very difficult COVID-19 period.
Exactly, exactly. This moment of COVID-19, the past 2 months, has exposed us as a country, as a continent, as a world, that we were not prepared for so many things. And for example, education is one of them, whereby you see some schools were able to still continue with their studies or with their classes online when other schools couldn't do anything because they were not prepared. They were not prepared for that. Not only that as well, but you see that some learners don't have access to these technological devices that can actually help them to study online. So this moment has just, it has increased that gap that we have between those that have and those that do not have. So our job at this moment is to actually bridging that gap, closing that gap, to make sure that everybody has the same type of service, everybody has the same type of resources that will help them to go forward.
Yes, that is very true. What message do you have for our listeners today? Because we seem to be running out of time.
Okay. Ooh. What I will say, I would like to ask to the listeners is that get involved. If there is any way that you can get, if there's any way you are able to assist, get involved. If you don't have the time but you have the resources, share with those that do not have. If you have the time, put your time share your time with others. Anything that you can do, because this moment is a very difficult moment for everybody, but more especially for the vulnerable and for those that are at disadvantage. Get involved.
Most definitely. I so agree with you. But we want to, of course, commend you, because the thing is, you have been giving back in many directions. And it's not just with the education, it's with the skills development as well. So I think we need to take our hats off for you, like we do for the rest of the frontline workers. You are definitely doing a phenomenal job with helping those impoverished, and, of course, trying to uplift them and create a self-sustainability so that they can have better lives at the end of the day. So thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you giving us your time. And we need to wish you nothing but the best of success and strength going forward.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for the opportunity that you gave me to be on the show and share my story with you. I just hope that listeners get involved. Get involved. There's so much that we need to do. And thank you so much to the rest of the team. Thank you, guys.
The pleasure was only ours. Thank you so much. You stay safe and, of course, take care of yourself.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
That was definitely a very inspirational talk with back in the form of classroom buddies. And it's, it's not just about educating people, it's about teaching them to apply, as he said, and of course, uplifting and empowering them and creating the self-sustainability. And I think, especially during this period, this is the most important thing that we can do for people, and uplift them from that poverty-stricken situation that they're in. But stay with us. We're going to go for a quick break. We'll be back with you in a minute.